No. And then Van Paul, the host and the co-host, Torino.
Yeah.
Okay, very nice. Okay, only see one of you. Okay, whoever's online, Shalom Uvracha. Whoever's here, Shalom Uvracha.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to learn a nice, interesting halacha today. Halachish topic. Okay, it's connected to Hilchos Shabbat, but it's also a interesting halacha. Let's start like this. Where's our friend today? For who? What that mean? No, not him.
Oh, he's on holidays.
Vakantie.
Your Basha?
Yeah,
Yeah, holiday this week. He's on holiday.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah, he told me last week.
Okay, very nice. A nice place to the Bahamas?
No, Dalsen. You know what Dalsen is?
In
Zwolle?
Okay.
He's 1 week. No, he told me last week.
Okay.
Next week he's back.
Okay. Zwolle. But he's in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought maybe you went to Caribbean. Yeah, okay. Okay, and the other one, what's his name?
Hikelish? I don't know.
Italy, what's his name?
Hikelish. I don't know.
You don't know, don't get.
No.
Exactly. Okay. We're all family, right? So whoever it is. Okay, we know on Shabbos something which is called Kla'achayad. You go like this. Have you ever heard of that? On Shabbos, something called Kla'achar Yad. Kla'achar Yad means the other side of your hand, which means if you do something not the regular way, not the normal way, but shinui. Shinui Kla'achar.
Okay, that's no.
Yeah, shinui. Have you heard of shinui? Shinui means different. Yeah, Kla'achar Yad is another word. Kla'achar Yad has been backwards. Kla'achar Yad means the other way of your hand is beshinui. It's different. Beshinui means you do something not the normal way. That means, for example, if on Shabbat I carry something, or I put on the light, or I cook, or I do any melacha, beshinui, not the normal way, then it's not awesome in Hatera.
Okay.
If I do a melacha on Shabbat, one of the 39 melachot on Shabbat, I do beshinui. Beshinui means in a different way than the normal way. Beshinui, base shin, yud nun vav yud, shinui. I do it in a different way, then you are not considered to have done a melacha d'oraisa on Shabbos.
So I can drive. I can drive here in Holland in English car.
No. The car was built for Shinui, but you are not doing Malacha for Shinui. Maybe you drive backwards.
No. I think it's on the side. No. Joke.
Holland's on the wrong side. England's the right way.
Okay.
I drive here, it's Mishinui. I come from England.
So what happens?
Good question. Number one, we have to understand why. Why on Shabbat, which is a strict day, do we have a lenient, which is a kula, that if I do something not the regular way, it's okay. We don't find that with any other mitzvah or avera in the Torah, that if I do it slightly different, it's not considered a melacha. For example, if there is an issur to eat basar b'chalav, or to eat chazer, farka, or any other melacha, not connected to Shabbat, and I do it slightly different, there's an issur for me to cook milk and meat together. Let's take a simple example. The Torah says, don't cook milk and meat together. So for me to take a piece of meat and take some milk, pour it together, put on the flame, is an issur d'oraisa. Don't cook milk and meat together. Don't eat it and don't have benefits from it. But let's go to cooking. Yeah? Don't cook milk and meat. If I cook the milk and meat in a slightly different way than the normal way, I put on the gas like this, or I mix the pot with my left hand, and that cooks it. If I don't mix it, it's not going to cook, and now I mix it, but I don't mix it with my right hand normally, I mix it with my left elbow like this. On Shabbat, nothing got to do with basar b'chalav, nothing got to do with milk and meat. On Shabbat, if I do a melacha, not the regular way, if I carry my phone, okay, my phone is muksa, if I carry this paper in the street on Shabbat, like this, in a place where there's no Eruv, is this the normal way to carry? No. So that's called a shinui. Is this a normal way to carry? Sugar, okay, but I can take this. Yeah, it's true. If we live in the... So this is called a shinui, not the regular way. If I take this home from the Yesei to my house, in a place where there's no Eruv, I've not done a melacha d'oraisa. Why? Because I'm not carrying it the normal way. The only way I would do melacha is if I carry it like this. Carry it like this, or like this. It's a shinui, it's not the normal way. It's not d'oraisa. If I write on Shabbat, the writing is melacha. Ksiva, writing is melacha. If I write with my left hand like this, and I sign my name, or I write, "Hi, how are you?" I wrote it, but I wrote it b'shinui. I wrote it different than I normally write. It's not melacha d'oraisa. Only on Shabbos. When it comes to cooking milk and meat on the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, if I mix the milk and meat in the shinui, there's no heta. It's still d'oraisa. Why on Shabbos, if I carry it home like this, is it not d'oraisa? I'm carrying it. What's the difference if I carry it like this or I carry it like this? If I put on the light, like this is maybe d'oraisa. If I go like this, it's d'orabonon. It's not d'oraisa. Lights on. I took this home. What's the difference? The answer is because there's one word in the Torah which says that Shabbos is only a melacha if it was a perfect melacha. Meleches machsheves. La'asois, says the Torah, b'chol meleches machasheves. Machasheves means it's a perfect work. You're only chayav on Shabbos if I do a melacha perfect. The word machasheves is not written by other melachos. It's only written when it comes to Shabbos. So people realize on Shabbos to say, do a shinui. Where does shinui come from? Why is shinui better? The only reason why shinui is better on Shabbos is because by Shabbos, it's written one word. Is there one online here? Is anyone with me? Hello?
Good morning.
Yeah, we
Good morning.
Good
Yes,
morning.
yeah.
Hi, everyone understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
Yes.
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 So it's a very important
We
thing
don't.
to understand. We all know that on Shabbos, if you do something b'shinui, it's okay. First of all, it's not okay. It just takes it from the Raisa to the Rabbanon. And the reason for that is because there's one word written in the Torah, when it's talking about the melacha, it says that on Shabbos, you only chayav if I did a special melacha. By any other mitzvah or avera in the Torah, it doesn't say do it in the special way. It says don't cook milk and meat. It says don't do this or do that, don't do that. But since by Shabbos it's written machasheves, it has to be a proper melacha. If I don't do it properly, then you haven't done what the Torah said you shouldn't do. So if I carry this home, I'm not doing a machasheves. I'm not doing it properly. That's why, if let's say, for whatever reason, you have emergency. But even by emergency, where you're allowed to do melacha on Shabbat, you should always do the minimum. If it's pikuach nefesh, we should always do whatever's needed. Whatever's not needed, we shouldn't do. It's not like an open check, free check, do whatever you want. Because it was pikuach nefesh, therefore I could do whatever I want. Whatever's needed for pikuach nefesh, you can do. Whatever's needed for a ill person, or whatever's needed for a choila, then you can do what's needed on Shabbat. But you should always do the minimum. Don't do the maximum. Because pikuach nefesh allows you to do what's needed, not what's not needed. If, for example, I need to put on the light for the choila, I'm in the hospital, or I need the light on for him. And this ill person needs the light for whatever reason. Then I'm allowed to put the light to him. If I put on the light like this, I've put on the light, but I've done it in a much lesser way. So I've been over Issa D'Rabbanan, but not Issa D'Oraisa. So try and do less. If you can't, of course you can't. Whatever you can do less, you're supposed to do less. Because for Pikuach Nefesh, for Choila, you're allowed to be Badcha Shabbos for whatever's needed. So you always try and do the minimum, not the maximum. So if I need to drive my car on Shabbos, let's say Hatzolah or ambulance or whatever it is, doctor, so he needs to go to the patient. It doesn't mean he can go and do shopping on the way, right? He can go and drive around Amsterdam, around the Amstel, because it's in his car. He can't go for a drive on Shabbos just because he needs to go to the Choila. He can go from A to B, what's needed. Don't say now that he's in his car, you should put on the music and air conditioning and go for a nice Shabbos drive along the R10. It's not like, okay, Pikuach Nefesh today, Shabbos is gone. I have a younger brother in America who is part of Hatzolah in Munson. Hatzolah. Hatzolah is a medical first aid, Jewish organization, which is independent from the ambulance services. It's for the Jewish community.
My son is in London.
Ah, yeah, he's on Hatzolah?
Yes.
Ah, yeah? For Hendon?
Borwood.
Yes.
Once in the Borwood, I don't know, he had duty on Shabbos.
Ah, yeah? Okay. So he is trained medical. Okay, nice. So for Hatzolah, they also have all the Shabbos courses, right? So for Hatzolah, my younger brother was telling me, and whoever's on Hatzolah, they're told that whatever you need to do, you can do.
You can.
So I don't know how it goes in London, but I know in America, let's say my brother gets a Hatzolah call on Shabbos, so he has to drive from where he is to the patient, to the Chana. So he goes there, and now he needs to get home.
So he takes up the phone with the wrong hand?
Whatever he needs to do, he needs to do. If he's going to take the phone in the wrong hand, it's going to fall, he's not going to hear, then not. But whatever he can do, whatever he needs to do, he should do. So let's say he goes and he arrives at the house. What he does, he arrives at the place where the patient is. He just puts the car into park and leaves the door open, the engine on. And Hatzolah have arranged that there's always a goy who follows the call, who does all the extra malachas that you need for Shabbos. So he parks the car, closes the door, pull off the engine, and whatever's needed. And then he brings the car back, or he drives you back, depends how far it is, to where your house is.
I have a cousin in Israel, he's a doctor. A couple of weeks he had duty on Shabbos. And when he get a call, he had a driver, non-Jewish driver. He drives.
He takes him, drives him around.
He takes him and
He takes the road, yeah.
He sits in the car.
sorry?
He still sits in the car.
Naast de chauffeur. Maar de chauffeur die rijdt hem en die.
What's the difference between you sit next to somebody?
Ja, nou, het is toch.
Or if you drive yourself.
Ja.
Yeah, but you are doing malacha.
Yeah.
You're once you're active, once you're passive.
So it means I can go with the goy at Shabbos.
No,
No.
but do always least possible in a situation where it's emergency.
You're not a doctor.
Whatever's emergency is allowed minimum or maximum what's needed. Nothing more than what's needed. If you get away with doing less, you should do less. Okay, so now, again, only by Shabbos do we see doing something slightly different is not considered a normal malacha because the Torah says machasheves. This machasheves is a very, very, very important word for Hilchah Shabbos. That's why if I carry it this way, it's not a deraisa, it's still a derabonon. The Rabbanon still said, don't walk in the street like this or go home like this. There's another thing that we learn from this word machasheves. And that is, if I do a malacha, but there is no purpose from the malacha, there's no need for it. I do the malacha, but I have no need for it, no interest in it. It's also not a deraisa. Because the Torah says machasheves. Machasheves means you did the malacha and it's important for you. If I'm doing malacha and it's not important, there's no purpose from it, there's no necessity, no need from it, it's also not deraisa. For example, let's take the first malacha in the Torah. The first malacha on Shabbos is choresh. Right? Choresh is to chav, to dig. Yeah? Why did you dig? To do what?
You make a hole of you build.
Yeah, so I'm saying, so let's in the Melechas HaMishkan. Why did you make a hole in the ground? Why is choresh the first malacha? Because when you dig a hole, what do you want to put there afterwards? You want to do zaya. You want to put a seed. You want to put plants in.
And we are looking for water.
Oh, so you're digging for a purpose.
Something else.
Yeah, but also it could be digging for water. Could be. But if you're digging for no purpose, you're making a hole because I want the earth, not because you want to make a hole. I don't want any hole. Then are you making a charisha? Are you making a hole in the ground for a purpose? I have no purpose from this hole. I'm not looking for something there. I don't want a hole. I just want earth. I want iron. Then it's not a melacha ben haTorah. Why? Because in the Torah, only a purpose melacha is a deraisa. When I dig a hole in the ground to sow, because I want to make a hole, because I want to put in a bonsai, I want to put in a plant, then you're making a harisha, and the hole is for a purpose, for the stage number 2. If I make a hole for no purpose, then it's not deraisa. One more example, and then we'll come to an interesting halacha. We know that to cut on Shabbos is a melacha. Cutting. Is to cut. Now, if I cut for no purpose whatsoever, I take a schar, what's it called? Schar, and I cut. Usually, why do I cut something? For a reason. I want to cut this in half because I want to give one to you and one to you. Or it's too big. I want to make it smaller. So I'll cut it into make it smaller. So cutting is for a purpose. If I cut for no purpose whatsoever, so I did the same act. Nachon? If you're standing by the window and you're looking at me, I'm doing this. You don't know what my purpose is. But if this is for no reason whatsoever, then it's not a melacha d'oraisa, because I'm doing a melacha for no machshava, for nothing, for no purpose, for no reason, for nothing. On Shabbos, it's not awesome in Atera. It's only awesome in Atera if I do something for a reason, for a purpose, in order to make it into two, in order to make it smaller, in order to give you one, in order for whatever reason. If there's a purpose, then it's a meleches machsheves.
So children who play with cat.
No.
Children is something else.
Schaar is
Yeah,
muksa.
yeah. Why is schaar muksa? Because you usually use it to do a malacha. Anything which is muksa on Shabbos
Well,
is
good,
only.
you can also take a knife to make two.
Yeah, so if I yeah, exactly,
Not muksa.
exactly. That's not muksa. But if I cut it to make it,
No, no.
I could do malacha also, right? So far we saw two things from the word machsheves. There's more things, but let's today focus on two. Two things that when the Torah says machsheves, you only also to do on Shabbos a melacha if it's a proper purpose melacha. So number one, if I didn't do it properly, for example, I did kla'achayad like this, then it's not a proper melacha. Number two, if there's no purpose for it, even if I did it properly, I cut it the same way. I cut it like this, but for no reason. Then it's also not deraisa, because machasheves tells me it has to be not only done in the normal way, but it has to be for a reason. So far two things.
Challah on Shabbos.
Ja, dat is toch serieus.
Yeah,
Dus
the challah, so you cut it. Oké.
Je moet eten. Dus dat heeft niks mee te maken.
Het is zo gaar bij.
Ja, maar dat maakt niks uit.
Waarom maakt dat niks uit?
Omdat je een mes gebruikt ook om je vlees te snijden. Ja, je snijdt ook je vlees. Een mes mag je gebruiken. Dat is gewoon een... Je hebt dat nodig.
Yeah, I'm sure. By food, I don't think there's
Food
any.
heb je nodig.
By food, I don't think there's any
Alles
malacha.
met eten mag je doen.
Yeah, because you can't do boirer, you can't do certain things. Yeah, but
Je mag geen appel van de boom afplukken. Oké,
yeah.
maar
No,
je
I'm
mag
saying
de
also if
appel
you have food, you have good food and bad food together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
eten. In principe mag je eten.
May I ask something, please?
Go ahead.
One of the 39 malachot you're not allowed to do on Shabbos is sorting, sorteren. Now, when you would have had a beautiful Friday evening dinner and you want to lay the table on Shabbos morning, you need to sort out all the cutlery and other things you need. Is that permitted?
So it's, as far as I remember, it's only permitted to be done in a way where you're not salting. For example, if you have a mix of knives and forks and
They have the custom to do the knives first and then the forks and then the spoons, etc.
Yeah,
Je hebt een volgorde om het neer te leggen.
exactly. So that's why he splits it up. But to take out the knives from a pile of forks and spoons is a problem. I think especially if it's only for the next day.
That's strange.
What?
Because
it has to do with food, with eating.
Yeah. So,
Shabbos.
but I think there's a difference. I have to double check. I think there's a difference because you said you're talking about Friday night. You want to prepare for the next day. By
Shabbos is eaten next day.
yeah,
If
no,
you do
but
Friday evening,
No,
it's not the next day.
Next to the
no,
the-
but I'm saying,
So
but I'm saying, but
the first day, the
yeah,
second
no,
day.
I agree. I don't mean from one day to the next. I mean what it's not needed for now. It's only for later. By boirer, there's three conditions that in order for it to be okay. Boirer is separating two things. Separating one thing from another thing that you don't need. Right? In order for it not to be considered boirer, separating, it has to be that you take the good from the bad, number one. It has to be number two. Meaning, one second, go back to number one. The good from the bad means that what you need now, what you want now, is considered the good. You don't take away the bad and leave the good. You have to take the good from the bad. Number two, it has to be you use your hands and not a special keli. For example, if you use a potato peeler, there's a special keli which is miyuchad for separating. You can't use a special keli on Shabbos,
Nee, but
which is used for separating.
Mag niet.
Mag niet?
Behalve een eiersnee. Die mag wel. We had yesterday even had the shiur.
Ah, yeah?
Herman of this.
This? Oh, okay.
So I cannot
The
peel.
Eiersnijder, what's that?
I say, so dik, but when you do the egg in,
Yeah, and that's what? That opens
that
it?
is only once, but you it is not allowed to turn the egg and do it another time because it is not allowed to make little pieces. But slices you can do.
It's ready boiled egg, ready done.
Boiled,
Yeah,
boiled,
yeah.
sorry,
Okay, ready done. You want to cut it into a thing.
Yeah.
Okay. That's for boiler or that's for cutting into small pieces?
Cut in small pieces, not allowed.
Yeah, but small pieces is not a boiler. Small pieces is because you're making a mixture.
Yeah.
Make it-
It's not allowed.
yeah.
Fruit salad.
You must with
No, you
one
can't.
side of the fork and you
Yeah. Yeah.
Yesterday we met it.
Very good.
Could I peel an apple with a potato knife then?
The potato knife is also meant for peeling. A potato knife and an apple knife is the same thing. If you have a potato peeler, the same. We call it a potato peeler, but you use the same thing for apples also.
There's
A
an
potato
separate
peeler on
knife.
Shabbos is a problem because it's a keli, it's a utensil, which is made to do melacha. It's made to use to separate bad from good. Sounds complicated, Shabbos, but it's not so complicated. It's not so complicated.
Ook een ras.
There's a lot of information, but it's not so complicated.
Een ras, you know, is also not allowed.
What's the rest?
Yeah, ras. What is a ras? When you make a concube, so you only use it for
Separating.
Yeah.
But what would be if you already have the apple which is already peeled? You already took off the outside. And you like to eat apple also peel by peel. Not by peel. You want to also slice by slice with the potato peeler. So you're now using the potato peeler not to take off the bad from the good, not to take off the peel, just a way of eating the apple. You want to eat the apple slice by slice, but how do you want to get the slice? By using your potato peeler. So here's the interesting thing. Your potato peeler is called a keli, a utensil shemelachto le'issa. It's made to do something which is not allowed on Shabbos. Because what's a potato peeler for? To peel a potato. Peeling a potato is taking off the bad from the good.
How about the inside of the apple?
Oh, so here's something very interesting. Your potato peeler really is muksa on Shabbos.
No,
Yeah.
because I use the potato peeler. I use it also for the skin of the apple, for the skin of the what's the name? The wortel. I use it for a lot of things.
Oh,
and it's a name potato peeler, but it's a peeler.
So here, so I haven't yet finished. You don't say no when I'm finished. You jump before I finish the sentence. If your potato peeler is only used for taking away bad from good, whether it's potatoes, whether it's apples, or whatever you use it for, but it's only used as peeling away the bad from the good, that's what you use it for, then this potato peeler is a keli shemelachta le'issa. It's made and you use it for issa, to do something which is not allowed on Shabbos. So therefore, when it comes to Shabbos, it's muksa. But, and here goes Mr. Samson, if your potato peeler is also used for slicing, so it's multi-purpose. It's number one, used for peeling apples and potatoes, and number two, it's used to make apple slices.
You can't do it with a potato peeler.
But let's say sometimes you have.
Can't do it. You can only make the schil.
So sometimes people use it nowadays with cucumbers. Yeah, you have a cucumber, which is already sliced. People like to make posh, whatever, voorspijs or first good. So they use the potato peeler and they slice through the cucumber, and then they have thin slices and they put it on the plate. How do you make that thin slice of cucumber? With the potato peeler. So when you cut the cucumber into a thin slice, you're not cutting away bad from good. You're just making a slice of cucumber. So if you are a person that your potato peeler is used for both, number one, separating bad from good, and just to make slices, then that's called a keli, a machine, which is a utensil, which is made le'issa uleheta. It's made for things that are not allowed in Shabbat and which are allowed in Shabbat.
Multi-use.
Multi-use. Then you could use your potato peeler, then it's not muksa. Therefore, you're allowed to use it for what? For peeling, not bad from good, for making slices. So everyone agrees that peeling a potato on Shabbos is not allowed. The only question is can I use my potato peeler to cut slices? The answer is, it depends. Is your potato peeler muksa or not? If it's multi-purpose, then it's not muksa. If it's only one purpose, then it is muksa. So there's no argument whether peeling potatoes is also or not. Everyone agrees peeling potatoes is not allowed. Number two, everyone agrees that peeling cucumbers for slices is also allowed. The question is whether your potato peeler is muksa. Muksa means you're not allowed to touch it on Shabbos. It depends. If you use your potato peeler for both things, then it's multi-purpose. Multi-purpose, it's not muksa, then you could use it for cutting slices. If your potato peeler is not multi-purpose, then it's muksa. Then you can't touch it. If you can't touch it, then you can't cut, then you can't use it to cut your cucumber slices. So there's no question in whether cutting slices of cucumber is mutter or not. It's definitely mutter. There's no question that peeling a potato is not okay. My only question is whether I can use my potato peeler to cut my cucumber slices. That depends on whether it's multi-purpose or not. What do you use? Could be yours is not multi-purpose, mine is. Could be mine is not and yours is. Not everything that's in your house is muksa. The same thing in my house is also muksa. Muksa just means that this is not going to be or allowed to be used on Shabbos. That's all muksa means. Why can't we drive a car on Shabbos? Not because it's muksa. It's muksa because you can't drive it. Muksa is stage 2, not stage 1. My pen is muksa because I can't write. Because I can't use this pen to write, because I'm not allowed to write on Shabbos, therefore, muksa, the Rabbanon said, you don't touch it. Don't touch something or move something which is made to do a melacha. So my pen, the reason why I can't write is not because it's muksa. The reason why it's muksa is because I can't write. So my potato peeler, the reason why it's muksa is because I can't use it, because I'm not allowed to peel on Shabbos. But if my potato peeler is multi-purpose, I use it also for slicing cucumbers, which is allowed, then my potato peeler is not muksa. So it could be your potato peeler at home is muksa, and mine is not. It doesn't make sense, no logic. There is logic. Because yours is multi-purpose and mine is not. Or the other way around.
You peel an apple. You have to take out. Some people eat an apple with the peel, and some people eat an apple without a peel.
You're right. So the apple itself, some people eat with and some people without. But the question is the potato peeler. Is the potato peeler muksa or not? Can I use my potato peeler to peel?
When you peel an apple.
Your question is like this. Can I use my potato peeler, which is multi-purpose, to peel my apple if I sometimes eat my apple with and sometimes eat without? Is that your question?
That's right.
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether I look at the general. I don't know. If I can I look at
If your potato peeler is used as well as a fruit peeler, and there shouldn't be any problem, in fact. Yeah,
I'm
because
actually not sure, because if I decide, I'm thinking now
that's
that
the way you
if-
want to peel an ananas.
yeah, I don't understand. If my potato peeler is multi-purpose,
Yeah.
I use it also for slicing cucumbers. Therefore, it's not muksa. So I can take my potato peeler from the drawer, and now I want to peel my apple, but I have another problem. You're right, my potato peeler is not muksa, but when I peel my apple, what am I doing? Why now am I peeling my apple? I'm peeling my apple because I want to take away the bad from the good.
Yes,
So
you-
bad from good means what I don't want to have now, that's good. Bad doesn't mean that it's moldy and it's stinky and it's disgusting.
No.
Bad means what I don't want. So even if my potato peeler is multi-purpose and it's not muksa, but I still can't peel my apple. Because the reason why I'm peeling my apple is because I'm separating bad from good.
Yeah, you're left with the peels which you won't use.
Correct. So it's still a problem.
But the peels,
Whereas if I peel my cucumber,
peels you can use to feed your animal.
very good, but I might use it afterwards. But why am I taking it off now? Because I want to get to the apple. I want to take away the bad, which I don't want to use, and eat the apple.
But then in half an hour you have to feed your animals. So
In half an hour doesn't make. I can only do boirer if it's right. If it's for now, boirer is allowed if it's taking the good from the bad, not the bad from the good.
Could
You
you,
might ask a question, something else. We can take the next step, and I have to finish. And that is, if my potato peeler is multi-purpose, therefore it's not muksa. I use it also for slicing cucumbers. And now I want to feed my animals, or I want to feed my baby or feed myself with apple peels. So maybe that should be allowed.
you made a double use. Yes, you can. Yeah.
So that perhaps should be allowed, because there I'm not separating bad from good.
Yeah.
I'm separating good from good. Because for me, what I want now is the peels. I want to have apple peel. I want to eat that. So an apple peel in that situation would be the same as a cucumber slice. Okay, guys, I got to run. Thank you so much. Perhaps we can continue next week. Oh, which one? Yishai.
Moshe Moskowitz, he did that.
Which was it?
Moshe Moskowitz, a friend of me in Israel, he's a widow, he was married.
Okay, thank you, but I think we'll continue this topic next week.
Okay.
Shkar, tot volgende week, Bezrat Hashem.